I did mention before the break that I have a story that I wanted to talk about that I think will relate to both Mikey and I in a couple different ways. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that, or not, I don't know, I think it was maybe actually last Thursday or Friday. I think it was, I mentioned that there were a couple big celebrity divorces, and one of them I needed to hop in the DMs right away, and one of them I needed to hold off on. Now, based on what I've seen in the news here, it looks like I made a mistake and I had it backwards, Mikey, because I said I needed to jump right into the DMs of Ariana Grande immediately
Yeah.
because everybody's going to be jumping on that. And
She'd be married in 3 months again, we said.
exactly. Then there's Sofia Vergara, who now is getting a divorce from Joe Manganiello. And I said, I got to play it cool with her. She's a little bit older, a little bit more reserved, maybe. I got to make sure you don't want to dive in there too quick. But, Mikey, it turns out this has been going on for a while. So I think.
Well, you said the thirst traps have been posted for months too.
They
So
haven't.
that's near that. The thirst traps don't come while the problems are happening. That comes afterwards.
Yeah, in fact, here,
You figure this has probably been going on for a year.
Yeah, well, months for sure. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to pull up her, one of the main first traps I saw that made me really realize that there's trouble afoot. And I think what was the first one I saw? I think it was this one.
That's a crazy girl though. That's just a date. That's a sleep with, not a date girl.
It was this one. It was back in July, and it just seemed. Oh, no, it's not this one. This isn't the one I saw. Where is the one I saw that just seemed like a straight up thirst trap? Oh yeah, just this one. This is the one I saw that I just remember being like, this is just. She's just. There's no no comment on it. Nothing. Just that and some boats, and it just says IT. Like she's in Italy or something like that. So I saw that one and I went, uh-oh. I feel like something's up. She had posted before that some pictures of her when she was like younger too. So I felt like that was a little bit of a weird thing. She's like kind of throwing back to those days, hearkening back to the days of the single life. And then I started looking and I noticed that all these pictures she just kind of since around that time, no pictures with old Joe. It's just all her pictures with her gals, all that kind of stuff. So
she kind of looks like the Puppet Master, dude.
What do you mean the puppet? What's the Puppet Master?
That movie from the 80s. You never seen that horror movie? The Puppet Master with all the little puppets running around killing people.
I've heard of it. I'm not a big horror movie guy, so I don't bother to really.
I like them hokey 80s ones. I love that, like Critters and shit like that.
I hate that stuff. I can't stand that kind of movie. Those movies. Those movies were on cable all the time when I was a kid, and we had my dad's the only thing.
WGN every Saturday.
No, actual cable, like Cinemax and HBO and all that. I'd see all those movies when they first came out because my dad was pretty cheap about everything else, but for whatever reason, cable, we had every channel. He was like, "We're gonna have every fucking channel. If I got to pay this much for 3, we're getting them all." So I was like, "Oh, sweet."
Really?"
So I saw
he paid
everything.
for it. We were always the Scramble Box family who would buy them at the flea market, have people program them and shit, and get all the channels that way. And every once in a while, HBO wouldn't work.
Oh yeah, no, my dad was he was like I said, he didn't like to spend money on stuff, but when it came to that, we were having every channel because it worked out great for me because I saw a lot of Cinemax. But here's one of the thirst trap kind of around the world that everybody saw that kind of went viral. That was the one that made everybody think that, all right, there's trouble in paradise officially. And it was this one. It was her walking around in a thong, just kind of, being a little silly, just kind of random one. That one went viral. So she has since her and Joe Manganiello have since decided they're going to call it off. They're going to get a divorce. And like I said, there were 2 parts of this story that really kind of caught my eye. The first one that caught my eye was, hold on one second. I actually have the Vergara was a tweet I saw. Julie Bowen, Sofia Vergara. I saw a post. Actually, screw it. I can't find it at this point. It was a comment that she made on one of Sofia Vergara's posts. And this is Julie Bowen. It was a girl. Did you watch that Modern Family show?
Yes.
So you remember the blonde mom?
Yep.
The real tall, real skinny girl? Well,
Mm-hmm.
she commented on one of Sofia Vergara's pictures and said something along the, oh, actually, it's right here. I actually was able to pull it up right here. She commented on it and said, this is what single and fire looks like with a bunch of hearts. So that came out yesterday, and that post infuriated me when I saw that comment, because this kind of thing, something similar to this, just happened to me recently with B1. Now, B1 and I have been in a weird kind of situation where there's really no definition on what our relationship is right now.
It's complicated.
Hashtag, right? I mean, it really is.
It's complicated.
As complicated as it could get. So there's really no
There's
definition.
levels to this shit.
Yeah, so you can't put a real stamp of what we are, a name on what we are at this point. But what we were doing was we're not like putting ourselves out there, kind of, I think, because like she's supposed to be having some space or whatever to figure out how she feels about everything that happened at the end of the last year. So I I don't know, maybe within the last month, she went to a baseball game with one of her friends, and I follow her friend on Instagram.
You mentioned this baseball game. You had said she went to this baseball game and you had no idea she was going to this baseball game, which was kind of weird because that was like the first time in 10 years or whatever that you didn't know what she was doing.
Yes. Right. Well, come to find out, I follow her friend at this game. Her friend posted an Instagram story with a picture of B1 saying taking applications. And it put and like a couple other things underneath that. And I, of course, was not happy when I saw that. I said, all right. I texted B1. I said, so this is how I find out we're broken up. This is how I find out what our relationship status is. And so she was, and my phone's going off right now, so I'm assuming she probably doesn't want me to talk about this. But, well, I mean, whatever I'm not mad about it at this point. I was mad then. I've moved on, and she said that it was out of her control and that she had nothing to do with it. Her friend did it on her own. But, and again, I'm not giving B1 a hard time about it. It was more about the rah-rah shit with the friend, especially when, like Julie, Sophia and Joe, these celebrities, they're right in the middle. You need a sec there, Mikey? I'll give you a minute. Sophia and Joe, they just announced this, and she posts a picture of her, a hot picture of her, which I guess the girl, I can't blame Sophia for doing. It is pretty quick to get all these thirst traps out there right after you make the announcement. But then from there, when her friend goes and makes that comment on there, it's like, too soon, man. You know what I mean? And Sofia Vergara doesn't need you to to pump her up. She doesn't need you as a cheerleader. So she could do fine on her own. And that kind of bothered me a little bit about like the whole thing when I saw with B1. I was like, first off, where are we? What's going on with our situation? And then this is what's get posted. So it sucks that the friends get involved. When
it's just a friend doing too much.
Yeah, it's a friend getting involved when the situation isn't even resolved yet. And then it just adds to more drama, especially like her and Joe, they've announced they're done, at least, I guess. So there's a little bit of a difference there. But in ours, we're like, well, what is she going back? It makes me also wonder, well, what is she going back and telling her friend about where we're at? That kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So, am I getting two different stories? Blah, 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 blah. So that is how
is that one of those friends that don't like you and you're better off without them? Is that one of them single friends that want somebody to join the party? Is that not saying anything disparaging about the friend or anything like that, but
her friend is Hello. Welcome to Another Dumb Show. I'm Another Dumb Show host. Welcome to issue number 71 of Another Dumb Show. Thank you guys for streaming on my tube tonight. It always feels so good to have you guys here streaming on my tube. I appreciate it so much. Welcome. It is raining like a mother effer right now. It is thundering and lightning. I'm already getting a weird like crackle happening in my headphones. I don't know if it's some sort of like power surge or if my headphones are officially crapped out. I am due for some new cans. So I'm wondering if it's that. If you guys are hearing that crackle, if it's just me, but I got all kinds of weird crackling going on in my headphones right now. So like I said, welcome. It is raining like a mother effer out here. It was just thundering and lightning a second ago. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, where I live, we do not have good power where I live. This stuff likes to cut out very quickly, very easily. So I'm a little concerned if we're gonna make it the whole way here. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll obviously do our best. I can't control the weather or electricity or whatever, but we'll just plug along and see what happens. I do see my main man down there. I think he looked very confused when I saw him down in the corner down there. What's up, my dude? How are you? Uh-oh. There we go. What's up, bro? How are you?
What's up, buddy? No, I wasn't confused. For some reason, I obviously thought that I lived in Cleveland. You were like, "It's raining like a mother," and I was like, "It ain't raining here. What the hell?"
Yes, I'm in Cleveland. Obviously, you're in Rochester. Pull that mic a little closer for brother. There we go. Much better. Yes, it's is it nice in Rochester? Because it's pouring like a mother here. Like it's gonna we're
I just looked at the radar for where you guys are at. It's just a giant blob of red. And
we got a major storm advisory coming that we're under right now. So we'll see what happens with that.
we got a watching effect till like 3 a.m. So
yeah,
good chance I'll be working tonight.
What? Oh, you're on call for that kind of stuff.
I'm always on call. My van's at home. I'm the most senior guy at the company. Half the guys that I work with are remedial.
What, like, meaning like they're not able to handle doing that?
No.
Oh, so there's a high likelihood you might have to get up and go out and turn on, if somebody's generator dies, you're gonna have to go fire their generator up?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That sucks. That sucks balls.
Yeah, I've only been on call for the last 20 years.
That's what I'm saying. That's how frequently does that happen that you have to go make a call at night?
Let's see. Last week, I was actually the technician on call, and I had to go someplace on Friday night, Wednesday night, and Saturday.
Jeez, man, that's a lot. In the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. kind of stuff? Is there a cutoff time to it, or?
No, we're 24/7 company.
I hope you get paid. No wonder you get paid. You just got that raise, man. They got to keep you happy.
Two of them were right around like 5 o'clock when I was already on my way home anyway, so they were quick little add-ons. And then the one on Saturday was at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay, so you're fortunate that these people are finding this out at normal times usually, and not at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, that's good because that would.
And 90% of the time I can walk them through it on the phone. Like I fielded like 8-9 calls last week where people wanted me to come out, but most of them I can walk right through it on the phone.
Well, that's good. So then you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to go deal with getting up and getting in your van, getting dressed, driving in the middle of the night, dealing with all that drama. That would suck. I know there's a lot of like HVAC guys and stuff that have to do that too. That would just be.
Oh, dude,
I don't know. I could never do that.
The 23rd of December and and Christmas Day this past year, I was the technician on call. I worked 36 hours between those 3 days on emergency calls. We had a giant storm that hit Buffalo with like 4 feet of snow. They were in a state of emergency. They couldn't even leave their homes. So all my technicians in Buffalo were stuck at their house. And then in Rochester, we had the bad snow and like negative 25 degrees. So all the generators went to go start and they were frozen. And it was just a disaster. I worked all day Christmas Eve, half the day on Christmas Day.
That blows. Did you get double time and a half for that kind of stuff?
Just time and a half.
Just time and a half. Well, at least it's not quite double time, but it's still time and a half. That's good. All right, cool. Well, I'm glad that you're not.
You know what? It was double time and a half because I was getting paid 8 hours anyways for being off that day.
Ooh, double time and a half.
Yeah, so I'm getting my regular wage for being off the holiday pay, and then on top of that, I'm getting time and a half. So it was double time and a half.
Badass. Good for you, man. That's awesome. Oh,
Oh,
it's already
screen's not
starting.
on.
It's already starting. It's already starting. Either that or one of my lights just died.
You got ghosts in the house.
That's weird. Why would that happen? So that's probably what happened. There's flickering right now. I'm getting flickers right now as we speak. Oh boy. That's what I say. Like what'll happen is usually like it'll be interesting during winter. I'm going to be freezing my ass off here because when my heat turns on, I have like a little tiny brownout with my electricity, and it doesn't go out all the way, but it jacks up the internet. It just for a blink, it makes the internet blink for a second. So while the show's on this winter, I'm gonna have the heat turned off. That way, there's no way that the internet's gonna get interrupted or anything.
That's not normal.
Oh yeah, I know. There's some sort of I googled it. It's some sort
You have
of
like a forced air furnace, or do you have electric heat?
forced air.
Like that's not that much of a draw. Like that shouldn't affect everything else in your house for sure.
We just have really it's these place. This place is really old. I think the electric box that's here has only probably been replaced once since this place was built. Since it used to have